Hello everyone, this is Dr. Ghanesham Chavan. Welcome back in another session of Human Anatomy and Physiology. Our topic was blood. In that blood topic, we are discussing anemia. What is anemia? Anemia is nothing but the clinical condition characterized by reduction in the number of RBC less than 4 millions per ml or their hemoglobin content less than 12 gram per dl or both. So anemia is nothing but the when we are having less number of RBC count than normal, means our that condition also leads into the hypoxia like conditions. In that hemoglobin also going to be decline. Grading: mild anemia when hemoglobin tends to 8 to 12 gram per dl. Moderate anemia when hemoglobin condition is 5 to 8 gram per dl, and severe anemia when our hemoglobin content is less than 5 gram per dl. So it is a more severe condition. In that condition we need to get the iron supplement or blood transfusion directly. Classification: there are various types of classification of anemia. First, etiological classification. In that, hemorrhagic anemia due to the blood loss. So when hemorrhagia will occur, means the blood loss will occur, means due to the blood leakage, due to the condition like hemorrhage, like brain hemorrhage or any type of hemorrhage. When the blood loss will occur, when the unnecessarily blood secretes, blood drain, and due to which blood loss will occur. So that is also one of the condition when unnecessarily our RBC count is going to be decline. Next is dietary deficiency due to the iron. When we are having the iron deficiency, less quantity of iron intake in our diet, or vitamins and proteins. So vitamins, especially like vitamin B12, vitamin B9, vitamin C. So these are the elements which are required for our blood production. So that is also one of the cause of anemia. And proteins like the globin, because these globins are required for the hemoglobin molecule for their production, and that's why if protein is going to be less in our diet, it also leads into the anemia like condition. Next is dyshemopoiesis, means if the abnormal shape or abnormal quality of hemoglobin is going to be formed or RBC is going to be formed. So that abnormal RBC are nothing but the non-use RBC, means they cannot carry oxygen. So it also leads into the anemia like conditions because they are not having any use in the transportation work. Abnormal hemopoiesis resulting in the aplastic anemia. What is aplastic anemia? Aplastic anemia is nothing but the anemia in which there is the deformation into the formation of RBC. Where the deformation occurs, it occurs into the bone marrow, because bone marrow is the site of hemopoiesis. And in case of aplastic anemia, there is problem into the bone marrow. Bone marrow suppression will occur, and which leads into the deformation or less quantity production of RBC or WBC. X-ray irradiations, it is also one of the cause. Next, Y-ray irradiation. So these are the also various rays which can affect on our anemic conditions. Next is hypersensitivity bone marrow to drugs. So when some drugs are producing hypersensitivity reaction to our bone marrow, and that's why bone marrow can affected. So bone marrow suppression will occur. There are certain examples. For example, chloramphenicol, tetracycline, streptomycin. These are the drugs which may leads into the bone marrow suppression. And also there are certain anti-cancer drugs which may leads into the bone marrow suppression, and due to which aplastic anemia will occur. Means the suppression of bone marrow leads into the less quantity of RBC production. Hemolytic anemias, due to the excessive destruction of RBC. So there are certain drugs, certain conditions, certain diseases which may leads into the breakdown of RBC. For example, the condition like malaria, the condition like pneumonia, the condition like jaundice, the condition like hepatitis, the condition like the papilloma virus, measles, so rubella virus. So they are the conditions in which infections the degradation or the destruction of RBC will occur. So they are also called as hemolytic anemias. Also in case of some fetus, the hemolytic anemia will occur, and due to that drugs like tetracycline or the drugs like chloramphenicol, so they can do the hemolysis of our RBC, and which leads into the destruction of RBC. Second type is morphological or Winthrop's classifications. So it based on the size of RBC and its hemoglobin concentration. Normocytic, normochromic. So in that, after the acute hemorrhage. Second is all the hemolytic anemias except thalassemia and aplastic anemia. So these are the types of normocytic. In case of hypochromic, what is hypochromic? Hypochromic is nothing but the when our RBC color is going to be dull, when there is discoloration or paleness in the color of RBC, that condition is called as hypochromic. So after the chronic hemorrhage, so RBC will become hypochromic. Next is macrocytic. What is macrocytic? When our RBC size is going to be enlarged, increase, so it is nothing but the macrocytic. So all the megaloblastic anemias due to the deficiency of vitamin B12, folic acid and intrinsic factor, so they all comes under the category of macrocytic anemia. Whereas the RBC are normochromic, means they are red in color, normal color, and in case of hypochromic, so secondary to liver disease. So in the liver disease, our RBC color is going to be changed, they will become hypochromic. Sorry, microcytic. So in this condition, the RBC size is going to be decline, so constriction of the size will occur, means the size will be less than the normal. And the chronic infections, so in case of chronic infections, the chrome means the color of RBC will be normal. And in case of iron deficiency anemia, the color may affected, they may becomes hypochromic. And also in case of thalassemia, the color will become hypochromic. Now we will start from the pernicious anemia. It is also called as Addison's anemia. So this is the one of the important anemia that one should know. Pernicious means destructive or injurious. So there are various causes that one should know. There are main causes, that is, it occurs, this pernicious anemia occurs due to the lack of intrinsic factor. What is this intrinsic factor? The intrinsic factor is going to be released into our stomach. So in our stomach there are various cells are available. Out of these cells, there is one cell which is responsible for release of HCl. So that cell is called as, that cell is responsible for release of HCl as well as intrinsic factor. So when now intrinsic factor, what is intrinsic factor? Intrinsic factor is a factor which is responsible for absorption of vitamin B12. Means whatever vitamin B12 is available into our food, so that is not going to be absorbed because there is no intrinsic factor. So intrinsic factor is responsible for absorption of vitamin B12, and if there is no intrinsic factor, there is no absorption of vitamin B12, and vitamin B12 is the major element for production of RBC. So that's why this intrinsic factor is required for our maintenance of RBC count. Now characteristics, features. Whereas this intrinsic factor are released from our stomach, and from the stomach the cell is there, the parietal cell. That parietal cell is responsible for release of HCl as well as intrinsic factor. That's why if we are taking the drugs like antacid, so what antacid will do? Antacid will directly block our parietal cell, and due to which they will act on our proton pump, and proton pump inhibitor will work, and due to which the less quantity of HCl will secrete, and at the same time the intrinsic factor also will secrete less, due to which the scarcity of intrinsic factor will be developed, and it may leads into the anemia like conditions. That's why we should not take antacid for a longer period. It may affect on stomach to secrete intrinsic factor as well as HCl. Characteristic features, bone marrow. Bone marrow is the major element which is responsible for production of RBC. Anemia produces hypoxia, which result in stimulation of erythropoiesis. So anemia produces the hypoxia. Hypoxia is nothing but the less oxygen carrying capacity. So whenever we are having less RBC, means less RBC is there for carrying of or transportation of oxygen. So this hypoxia which may result into the stimulation of erythropoiesis. So ultimately the process going on in our body, so that depends on one above the another, and the cycle is go on. Whenever there is the message will comes from the blood that there is less oxygen, less hypoxia, means there is hypoxia, less oxygen carrying capacity, so immediately it stimulates the erythropoiesis in the bone marrow and maturation arrest. So bone marrow becomes hyperplastic. So here bone marrow will become hyperplastic, means more RBC will going to be produced. This overactivity of bone marrow is called megaloblastic anemia, and due to which the overactivity occurs, mean the overproduction of RBC, oversized RBC is going to be produced. So that oversize is nothing but the megaloblastic anemia. Mega means large, blastic means cells. See, this mega cells is going to be produced, so that is nothing but the megaloblastic anemia. Blood changes, RBC, macrocytic, normochromic, means large size of RBC is there, and normochrome means normal color is there of RBC. Count decreases markedly, less than 1 million cells per ml. Hemoglobin content is less than 12 gram per dl. Diameter increases to 8.2 micrometer. MCSC means corpuscle hemoglobin content is usually normal, because both MCV, mean corpuscle volume, and mean corpuscle hemoglobin increases. Peripheral smear shows nucleated RBC. The reticulocytes count is increases more than 5%, means this reticulocyte also going to be increased less than more than 5%, and WBC and platelets both increases, means all the blood cell production is going to be increased, means it affects on our bone marrow, and bone marrow will do its function more efficiently, so that all the types of blood cells is going to be increased. That is the condition which is called as pancytopenia. PANCYTOPANIA. Pancytopenia is nothing but the when there is increase in the production of all blood cells, RBC, WBC and platelet. That condition is called as pancytopenia. Changes in GIT, deficiency of intrinsic factor. deficiency of intrinsic factor will occur. Atrophy and destruction of gastric mucosa causing marked or complete lack of gastric juice production. So there is atrophy and destruction of gastric mucosa. Means atrophy means there is size is going to be decrease, and destruction of and the mucosa is going to be damaged, and complete lack of gastric juice production means the HCl production is going to be affected. Less HCl production or no HCl production will be there. That typical condition is called as achlorhydria. When there is HCl production is going to be declined up to the zero, so that condition is called as achlorhydria. Loss of HCl production. Soreness and inflammation of the tongue will occur, and loss of appetite will occur. Means anorexia like condition will develop, loss of appetite. Changes in nervous system. Advanced cases. Demyelination white fibers of spinal cord. Means demyelination will occur. Myelination may leads into the white fibers, white matter. When there is demyelination, means the myelination means the covering, that myelin sheath is there, is responsible for myelination. When there is degradation of myelination, means there is loss of myelin fibers, white fibers. So due to unmyelination means uncoating will occur. That coating of myelin sheath is not occur of spinal cord, which affects the dorsal column initially. Lateral columns subacute combined degeneration of spinal cord, means degeneration of spinal cord will occur. The functions of spinal cord won't do proper because degeneration will occur, and this degeneration may leads into the various neurological problems. This is associated with the tingling, means here you can see the tingling sensation will occur, means false belief sensation to our extremities, to our hand or to our the sensitive organs will occur. False belief, touching, tingling, and numbness, means the numbness will occur in the hands and feet, means slowness of your movement, and they won't move properly. Numbness will be there, slowness will be there. Motor and psychological disturbances, and our motor organs means to walk, to move our hand, to move our neck, so there will be problem into our motor organs. And various psychological disturbance means false belief will be there, like hallucination or delusions or illusions or dysphoria, euphoria. That condition will be developed. Psychological disturbances will be developed. Folic acid deficiency anemia. So this folic acid deficiency also produces megaloblastic anemia. What is megaloblastic anemia? Mega means large, blast means cells. So there is large size of RBC is going to be produced. There are various causes, and this folic acid is very important agent for our RBC. Without folic acid it is just difficult to produce RBC, and folic acid deficiency may directly leads into the megaloblastic anemia. Two types of agents are there. One is vitamin B12 and folic acid. If both the agents will lack in our body, they may leads into the megaloblastic anemia. There are various causes. Less dietary intake. When we are decreasing the intake of our folic acid in our diet, it may leads into the anemia, because this folic acid is required for nucleotide. They required for our production of RBC. After that, poor absorption from GIT, because if from GIT poor absorption will be occur, so definitely it will leads into the megaloblastic anemia. And increased demand. When increased demand will be there? When any lady is pregnant, because not only she require the oxygen for herself, but also she require the oxygen demand for her fetus as well, because her fetus need that oxygen for each and every function, for lungs, for heart, for kidney, for everywhere, for the whole functioning of his body. It requires oxygen. So when there is more oxygen demand, when increased demand. Next is anti-folate drugs, means anti-cancer drugs. So the drugs like chlorambucil or methotrexate or busulfan, so these are the drugs, anti-folate drugs. So these are inhibiting the folate, and folate reductase is one of the enzyme which is responsible for degradation of our RBC. Means these drugs will affect on our bone marrow. They will do the bone marrow suppression, and which may leads into the aplastic anemia like condition, and due to which less production of RBC or megaloblastic anemia will be developed. Means these drugs are directly affecting on our chromosomes. They directly affects on our chromosomes, on our cells. The normal RBC will become abnormal, and due to which there is increase in the size of RBC, or the abnormal increased size RBC will going to be produced, and it may leads into the megaloblastic anemia. Iron deficiency anemia, commonest anemia in the India, because lots of females are not paying attention towards the iron deficiency. That's why government have introduced the scheme to give iron supplement and also folic acid supplement to the girls, especially who are at the teenage, menstruating females. So in the school as well as in the college, they has been provided by the iron supplements. Any anemia which respond to the adequate dosage of iron is called iron deficiency anemia. So in the regular diet we are not taking sufficient anemia. Even males are also not taking sufficient quantity of iron which they require for their RBC production. There are certain causes that we will discuss one by one. In that, first is less dietary intake. In a regular diet we are not taking sufficient quantity of iron in our food, in our vegetables, in our fruits, in our diets, veg or non-veg. So they should contain this iron. Increased loss in case of acute hemorrhage. If you are having hemorrhage in our body, like brain hemorrhage or hemorrhage in our stomach, hemorrhage in our GIT, in colon, in small intestine, in liver, means blood loss will occur. Also in case of the anticoagulants, if you are taking anticoagulants, and if we are taking the drug like aspirin, they are diluting your bloods, so they are responsible for acute hemorrhage, and due to that hemorrhage the blood loss will occur. And if you are having less calcium intake, or if you are having less vitamin K intake, if you are having less clotting factors in your body, little bit platelet counts, so it may also leads into the acute hemorrhage, because our blood is not going to be clot at proper time, and due to which hemorrhagic condition will disturb or will unnecessarily spoil or waste our blood unnecessarily. Chronic hemorrhage, when from the long period if you are losing our blood, it is called as chronic hemorrhage. Increased demand in case of infancy, childhood and pregnancy. So there are the three conditions where there is increased demand. So in that condition also we require more and more iron, and we should take iron in our diet. Defective utilization due to the decreased absorption in disease of stomach. So when there is the various disease of stomach or colon or intestine or liver, so in that defective condition also the blood loss will occur, or the lack into the absorption of that iron will occur. If absorption will not occur from the stomach or from the intestine, it may also leads into the iron deficiency anemia. Now characteristics of features of this anemia: RBC macrocytic hypochromic, Macrocytic means their size is going to be decrease, means their width or their diameter is going to be decrease. And hypochromic means their color is going to be decrease, means the color will become very pale. Here you can see the color is pale. Count decreases or remains normal, means our RBC count is normal, but if you see the color is going to be faint, means they are not in red color, they will become pink in color or faint pink in color. And macrocytic means their size is going to be, diameter is going to be decline. MCV, MCH, MCHC, CI decreases, means all the characters of counting of RBC, means their mean corpuscle volume, mean concentration of hemoglobin, mean concentration of hemoglobin content, and this corpuscle index. So all these types of characters is going to be decrease. Lifespan is going to be normal, it is 120 days is the normal lifespan. Peripheral smear shows anisocytosis and poikilocytosis. What is anisocytosis and what is poikilocytosis? So when there is change into the shape, it is called poikilocytosis, and anisocytosis when there is change into the size is going to be declined, so it is called anisocytosis. Means both the types of defects occurs in the RBC. Bone marrow, normoblastic hyperplasia. Normoblastic means the size are normoblastic, means their production is too much. Hyperplasia means more production of RBC in bone marrow will occur. WBC and platelets, normal count, means both the types of cells are normal in their count. Investigation, serum bilirubin less than 0.4 mg per dl, so serum bilirubin is going to be declined. Serum iron decreases, normal 60 to 160 microgram per dl. Total iron binding capacity is increased, it will become 150 to 350. Nails, here you can see this is the condition of nails. So nails are become too much dry and soft, and they are easy to break, they are very easy to break, they becomes very fragile and spoon shaped. So from the middle side they will be concave, so it will become spoon shaped. Tongue because it will become angry red, completely red color tongue you will find in this condition. And cardiovascular respiratory system, in that early breathlessness will occur, means we are not able to take a complete breath, breathlessness will occur, means shortness of breath will occur. And palpitations means we are having extra beats into our heartbeats, this palpitation, unnecessarily beating of hearts, extra systole will occur. Repeated chest infections, so more and more chest infection will be occur, so like bronchitis or like pleuritis, or the condition like emphysema or COPD will occur. Nervous system, irritability will occur of nerves, loss of concentration will be there, mean disorientation will occur, headache, severe headache may occur, generalized body ache. Impotence will occur, means erectile dysfunction will occur in case of males, impotence will occur. Sickle cell anemia, it is also one of the very common type of anemia, a serious condition in which red blood cells can become sickle shaped. Sickle shaped are nothing but the elongated, the shape of pancreas, so elongated shaped, spoon shaped. The normal red blood cells are smooth and round and so move easily through blood vessels to carry oxygen to all parts of the body. Sickle shaped cells don't move easily through the blood. Once the cell RBC cell becomes sickle shaped, means they are not behave as a normal RBC, they are behave as a abnormal RBC. Body also not going to be recognize them as a RBC, body will recognize them as a pathogen. So they won't do their function normally, they won't do the function of transportation of oxygen and CO2. So they are stiff and sticky, means they are start to stick to your blood vessels, means they are arranged one above the another, they are adhering on our blood vessels and tend to form clumps, and they will form the clumping one above the another, they are sticking to each other and get stuck to the blood vessels. The clumps of sickle cell block blood flow. So when they are attaching one above the another and they are adhering to the blood vessels wall, due to which what they are doing, they are opposing the blood flow, they are producing sluggishness into the blood flow. Sometimes they can block the way of blood vessels also, and the blood vessels that lead into the limbs and organs, wherever that blood vessels will flow, so they will produce the blockage into the blood vessels, and blocked blood vessels can cause pain, and due to that blocked blood vessels it will lead to the severe pain, serious infections and organ damage. Either the organ is liver, or it is kidney, or it is pancreas, spleen, thymus, any gland or any type of organ is there, the organ towards the blood vessel is going to be run, so it will be damaged, it will be blocked, and due to which the flow towards that organ won't be regulate, it will be stopped, and due to which the pain will be there to that organ and serious infection will be produced. Here you can see this is the normal RBC which are running from one part to the another part, from one end to the another end they are running, so they are diverging in two ways here, and they are running very smoothly because they are normal in size and shape, and they are not going to be stick anywhere into the ways. So RBC flows freely within the blood vessels. Here this is the normal hemoglobin they are containing. This is the abnormal sickle shaped blood vessels. Here you can see the sickle shape, they are elongated, they are just look like the moon, half moon. So in this fashion what they are doing, they are sticking to the wall of blood vessels, and due to which they are adhering to one above the another and they are forming the blockage. Here you can see the complete block, sickle cell blocking the blood vessels flow, and due to which the sluggishness, and sometimes they are trapping the blood RBC, normal RBC, and they are also converting normal RBC to the sickle cell RBC. And in this fashion the cross section of sickle cell, here you can see the abnormal hemoglobin form strands that causes sickle shape. So in this fashion the sticky sickle cell is going to be formed, and they will stick to the wall of our blood vessels. So in this fashion they are producing the blockage in our blood vessels, and due to this blockage the blood won't reach to the respective organ, respective gland, respective system, and due to which there lots of pain will be there in this area of blood vessels. Inheritance of sickle cell anemia. If one parent has sickle cell anemia HBSS and other is completely unaffected HBAA, then all the children will have sickle cell strain. None will have sickle cell anemia, nobody will have sickle cell anemia. The parent who has sickle cell anemia can only pass the sickle hemoglobin gene to each of their children. So here you can see it is a usual, this is the anemic parent. When they will cross, so in this fashion they will produce the 4 trait. Now if both parents have sickle cell trait, there is a one of the 4 chance that any given child could be born with the sickle cell anemia. There is also in one of the 4 chance that any given child could be completely unaffected. So here both are having sickle cell anemia, So they are crossing our their genes, and after that one is usual to our trend, and there is a 25% chance to get one to be affected, one to be anemic. So this is one child is going to be anemic. So there is a 1 in 2 50% chance of any given child will get it in sickle cell strain. Clinical features. Most common symptoms of anemia is fatigue, tired and weakness. Next is shortness of breath, means person is not able to take breath properly. Shortness of breath will occur. Dizziness means lightheadedness will occur, dizziness. Headaches, continue headache will occur. Coldness into the hands and feet. Paler than normal skin or mucous membrane, and jaundice. Jaundice is also one of the cause of that anemic conditions. Due to this, more bilirubin will be produced. Complications. First is hand-foot syndrome. So in this condition, to our palm, the redness will occur and lots of swelling will be there in your palm, and there is pain, means redness, lots of pain and swelling. So these three symptoms are come together to produce hand-foot syndrome. So it will occur in your hand to your foot, and at the sole, means sole of your palms, you will find this typical syndrome. Next is splenic crisis. So this splenic crisis are nothing but the which forms the splenic crisis. It is the condition when recently we have discussed that the blockage will be occur, the cell will become sickle cell, and due to which they are adhered to our wall of blood vessels, and due to which the flow is going to be disturbed, and which will produce the lots of severe pain to that typical blood vessel, and also it will produce the blockage to the toward the specific organ. It may be spleen, it may be liver, and that organ is going to be affected. Malfunctioning of the organ will occur. So splenic crisis. Infections. So any sort of infection will be produced, because due to the less RBC count, our immunity is going to be affected, because these RBC, our blood vessels, are responsible for production of antibody also. Acute chest syndrome also going to be produced. So chest syndrome is going to produce, due to which the lung is going to be affected. Pulmonary hypertension, due to our blood vessel which is providing that artery which is providing the blood toward the right part of your heart, it is called pulmonary artery, and due to that the hypertension is going to be produced. It is called pulmonary hypertension. Delayed growth and puberty in the children, and due to which the growth is going to be retarded due to that sickle cell anemia, and puberty also going to be retarded, means puberty occurs after the normally after the age of 18, but it will occur after the age of 25 also, means it will be prolonged. Stroke may produce, anaphylactic shock can be produced. Eye problems, means there is problem into the hearing, problem into the vision will be there, eye problems will be there. Gallstones will be there, means there will be the deposition of or hardening of our the enzymes or hormones is going to be released. So that typical that enzyme is nothing but the bilirubin is going to be stored into our gallbladder. So the hardening of that enzyme is going to be occurred. It is deposited and it become hard, and it will produces the blockage. It is called stones. Ulcer on the legs will occur. Multiple organ failure, means at the one time lots of organ is going to be fail. Thalassemia, heritable hypochromic anemia with having degree of severity. So varying degree of severity is there. It is just like the sickle cell anemia, but it also occurs due to the inheritance, means it carries from one generation to the another generation, means from father to the next generation. And they are sometimes they are in the active form, sometimes they are in the inactive form, in the passive. Sometimes they may become the passive carrier, and after that they may become the active carrier. So it is heritable inheritance from, and this is a condition when our body is not going to be produce RBC at the normal proportion. There is a lack of production or lack of productivity into the RBC, result into the defective production of globin portion of hemoglobin molecule. So it occurs due to RBC production decline due to the defective production of globin portion of the hemoglobin molecule, and due to which less hemoglobin is going to be produced. May be either homozygous defect or heterozygous defects. Defect results from abnormal rate of synthesis in one of the globin chains. Globin chains are structurally normal but have imbalance in the production of two different types of chains. So results in overall decrease in amount of hemoglobin produces and may induce hemolysis. Means this condition may produce the condition like hemolysis, means the degradation of normal RBC will be produced. Two major types of thalassemia. Thalassemia is the condition where we have to give them blood after each 15 days because their body is not going to produce the sufficient blood. So for their functioning of their various organs, they require the blood from external resources. So that's why they seek that blood from the external resources. So we have to transfuse them after each 15 days. So there are two types of thalassemia is there, alpha and beta. Alpha caused by defect in the rate of synthesis of alpha chains. It is a protein, globin protein molecule, and due to which there is defect into the production of alpha chains, because we required both alpha and beta for production of hemoglobin, globin molecules, which is produces hemoglobin, and beta caused by defect in the rate of synthesis of beta chains. So when sometimes there is defect into the alpha, sometimes there is defect into the beta chains of globin. So alpha thalassemia usually caused by gene deletion. So mostly gene deletion is responsible for alpha thalassemia, and beta thalassemia usually caused by the mutation. Means mutation occurs, means whatever the DNA sequence is there, so in that DNA sequence the mutation will occur, cross linking will occur, and due to which the mutant, what is mutant? Mutant is abnormal gene sequence will produce, and due to which the abnormal protein molecule will produce, and the abnormal beta protein is going to be produced, and which leads into the beta thalassemia. Means abnormal protein, abnormal hemoglobin, and abnormal hemoglobin, abnormal RBC, and which may leads into the condition like thalassemia, means anemia will produce. Now beta thalassemia, there are two types, beta thalassemia minor, beta thalassemia major. Beta thalassemia minor caused by heterogeneous mutation that affects beta globin synthesis, usually present in mild asymptomatic hemolytic anemia unless patients in under stress such as pregnancy, infection or folic acid deficiency. So the patient who is under the stress, they may have more chances to have this asymptomatic hemolytic anemia. One normal beta gene and one muted beta genes. So hemoglobin level in 10 to 13 gram per dl range with the normal or slightly elevated RBC count. Anemia usually hypochromic, means the color of RBC is going to be faint, means it will discolored, and microcytic means smaller than normal, means there is decline into the diameter of our RBC, means it will be smaller RBC including target cell and elliptocytes. Hepatomegaly means enlargement of our liver size is going to be increase. Splenomegaly means increase in our spleen size, spleen will become larger, are rarely seen. Have high HbA2 level 3.5 to 8% and normal to slightly elevated HbF levels, normally require no treatments. Now beta thalassemia major, characterized by the severe microcytic hypochromic anemia, detected early in childhood, infant fail to thrive. Have pallor means the paler skin will be there, means the faint or more white skin will be there. Variable degree of jaundice, abnormal enlargement, and hepatosplenomegaly means liver as well as spleen size going to be increased. Hemoglobin level between 4 to 8 gram per dl. Severe anemia causes marked bone changes due to the expansion of marrow space for increased erythropoiesis. Characteristics changes are seen in skull, long bones and hand bones. Physical growth and development delayed means due to this thalassemia our physical growth is going to be delayed. Peripheral blood shows markedly hypochromic macrocytic means the color is going to be decline, hypochromic color decline, and size also going to be decrease size of RBC will be there. Erythrocytes with extreme poikilocytosis means there is change into the shape of the RBC, such as target cells, teardrop cells and elliptocytes. Hemoglobin electrophoresis shows increased hemoglobin A2 delta globin productions and increased hemoglobin F gamma globin productions. Another symptoms are hyperbilirubinemia means increased concentration of bilirubin into the blood. It is called hyperbilirubinemia. Hyper means increase, bilirubin, mia means in blood. In blood there is increased concentration of bilirubin, which may leads into the yellowish colors of your skin. MCV mean corpuscle volume in range of 50 to 60 FL. Iron overload, increase absorption and transfusions, so it may due to the endocrine disorders, cardiomyopathy and liver failure. So these are the various types of anemic conditions that we have come across. So this is sufficient for today's lecture. We will see next part in next lecture. So thanks a lot for hearing me. See you then. Bye.